Don't let the fact that this is a 97 or has 111,000 rounds on her, this old conversion van right here, this thing looks like a lot of fun. I mean, this thing just screams road trip. It's also been mechanically well kept. I mean, it's definitely been used. You can see a couple little spots, but the tires only have 2,000 miles on them. The transmission was basically rebuilt in October of 2018. Engine has new computer. All the U-joints have been replaced. There's a new compressor on the air conditioner, new serpentine belt and idler tensioner, a bunch of different things. Basically, within the last year or two, it's mechanically pretty much been all run through, so this thing is road trip ready. A true conversion van like this, it's hard to find in the used market, especially one that's not just had the absolute Dickens beat out of it. This one's definitely been used. I mean, when you see it in person, there's stuff that the camera doesn't see, but nothing major, you know, just like normal seat wear, effectively. Overall, though, it appears to be well kept, well maintained. It was definitely used, but it was not abused, and that's a really clutch key difference there. I love the built-in cooler down here. My first thought was, oh, that'd be nice to keep some drinks on hand, throw a little ice in there, but for a long road trip, keeping some snacks in there, that would be absolutely ideal. Up here in the driver's area, everything looks good. I don't see, you know, the dash isn't all scarred up and marred up or anything like that. The entertainment system is a bit dated, but it's kind of, you know, reflective of the age of the unit. You've got a cassette player here, although the good news, as we spin around into the back seat area, you will find separate entertainment options, and this is really taking me back right here. For instance, right here we have a 6-disc CD changer. We have a built-in plug specifically made for a Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I sold my Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo when I was broken in college, and I regret it to this day. I wish I would have just gutted it out and not, you know, sacrificed it for the couple $100, because I'd love to introduce my kid to that sort of entertainment. Now, like I said, you can see a little bit of normal wear on the seats, but that doesn't mean harsh wear. I don't mean like the vinyl's all ripped down and wore out. Overall, it looks pretty darn good in here. All of the little indirect lighting appears to still be in good working order. That's one of those things that when I see vehicles like this come into the used market periodically, I will tend to see like certain things, like certain light panels not working. And this appears to be in good working order. The turtle top on this makes it so that even a big goofball like me can get up and not bonk my head in here. And you can see you've got that forward, or I guess rear-facing entertainment system. So I mean, if you're taking long trip, lots of kids, church trip, something like that, this would be an absolutely ideal multi-person mover and goer. And back here we have yet another of these little plug-in headphone stations, and there's separate inputs there. One is specifically wired to the TV and one specifically to the radio, so you can have multiple people with multiple different forms of entertainment going on, which when this was built was a really big deal, but now that everyone has their own phone, probably less critical. Now the rear seat here gives us a couple options. Man, I tell you, I'm just kind of keen to the fact you got awesome visibility. You have windows everywhere, and they all have like pleated blackout shades, so if someone wants to try to take a in-motion nap or something, there's plenty of room for it. Speaking of which, that's one of the purposes of this rear bench back here. Obviously, it's just a rear row seat, and you've got that fold-down middle armrest, so what could we seat in here? 7 if we had to. But this thing, you'll see when we go outside, it can fold down into something of like a little sleeper, so it could be a neat little couples kind of touring, almost Class B sort of camper thing. I do want to try to do the job of representing it fairly, and part of that is advising that the skirting on the corners, it's definitely caught like a curb here or there. It looks like it's been buffed up into, or not buffed up, but bumped into, scuffed up here and there. But overall, I don't see anything that is stopping it from functioning well. Remember, the tires were replaced only about 2,000 miles ago. I mean, you can get right up here and take a look. You're basically looking at brand new sneakers on this kid right here. And as we come back here, the rear doors kind of present some neat opportunities. It could be just something as simple as a little cargo hatch, but it also has this rear-facing little bench right here. Now, that being said, There don't appear to be any sort of like seatbelt restraints for this, so I don't recommend using this for people in motion. But if you're just sitting at your destination, you just want to get some fresh air and have a spot to sit, you know, you can do that without like having your doors hanging wide open or anything like that. The other thing is, this bench can flip up out of the way, or you could utilize it as part of the rear sleeper that I mentioned previously. And to do that, all you have to do is pop those headrests out of the way. Then if you look up here, you see there's actually power adjustment buttons. All the rear seats, whether it's these 2 seats up front, or in the middle rather, or these, have their own little power adjustment switches. Now you can just push a button to push that, you know, up or down. It also has a forward to back adjustment, so you can really add as much or as little legroom as you want. And there you go. If what you need is something with a big flat cargo space, you have it. If you need a long trip sleeper, or if somebody just needs to take a little break, like if the kiddos have just been up too long and you got to put them down for a bit, you have a little spot there where maybe mom and dad could just grab a little park bench and let the kiddos, you know, take a little bit of a rest. This kind of takes me back a little bit. I'm getting hit in the member berries a bit by the fact that my grandparents had something very similar. Not quite as fancy with the Super Nintendo hookups. You'd have never gotten me out of the thing. I was just such a Nintendo Toys R Us kid, it wasn't funny. But they had a conversion van, and we took some fun trips. My face was always glued to the window. I was always seeing what was going on outside the window. And that's one of those things, you know, I've been fortunate enough I've been able to take my daughter on some fun trips, some fun family trips, but like, you know, in a plane. I think I'm gonna have to do the Griswold family tour at some point and take her on a long car ride, because weirdly, some of my fondest memories looking back were just traveling around with my dad, you know, going cross country on a couple things. And I don't know, I think that there's a lot of memories to be had here. I think there's a lot of fun to be had, and mechanically it's in great shape. It's ready to hit the highway. So give our team here at Haylett Brokers a call and we'll get you rolling. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy travels everyone.